Hello, my friends, I'm back. Let's just get right into it. I wanted to talk about Oliver Anthony and the sensation that he's causing across the country and across the world. If you haven't heard of Oliver Anthony, he's a musician who he dropped a video about 5 months ago on YouTube, and it just totally blew up and went viral, and it's resonating with a lot of people across the country. And so I wanted to offer a little bit different take than most of the reaction videos, and I don't normally do reaction videos, but I think this one's important. And so let's get right into it and listen to the first part, and we'll go from there.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul.
Okay, one of the first things you notice is Oliver's singing from the heart. A lot of emotion, some anger, that sort of thing. And that's another reason why I think it's resonating with people all over the world, but especially in the US. So he's talking about selling his soul for bullshit pay, wasting his life away, and getting home so he can drink his troubles away. And gee, I wonder why that resonates with a lot of people. Okay, and he says living in the new world with an old soul. I think that's really important to talk about there. And so I'll be honest with you, my first reaction when I first heard this video, and I've listened to it probably a dozen times now, because I'm extremely fascinated with how and why it's resonating across the country. Now, I tend to focus on the positive side of things, and so my first reaction to this is that my first reaction was a bit negative because it's a negative video. He's complaining about what's going on in the country and in the world and with politicians and so on. But we have to understand that we're living in this physical world, and there's two poles. There's a positive and there's a negative, and you can't just focus on one and ignore the other, because if you do, you're not getting a clear picture. Now, and I'll be honest with you, I've done that in the past. I want to just focus on the positive. I don't want to hear any negative stuff. The problem is people polarize to one side or the other, and usually they polarize to the negative side, and I have been there too. Now I'm probably more polarized to the positive side, and the real solution is you have to find the balance, find the center, so to speak. And I'll get into that a little bit more, but that's a Dr. John DeMartini teaching, and well, not just him, but he kind of brought it together for me. Anyways, so he's talking about doing that. So what's the solution to that? Well, let's listen to a little further into the video, and then we'll start getting into solutions at the end of the video.
These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, 'cause the rich men. I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere, Lord.
So he's talking about the politicians just want to have total control, know what you think, know what you do, and they don't think that you know, but he knows that you know, and so on. And then he goes on to talk about, and then he goes on to say, I wish politicians would look out for minors and not just minors on an island somewhere. And if you don't know what he's referring to there, well, he's referring to the Epstein Island, and he's using I forget what you call it, but miners, as in people mining coal or what have you, because he's in the deep south there. And then miners on an island somewhere talking about kids and politicians and the scandal there with them abusing miners on Epstein Island. And so, yeah, people are pissed about that, and rightly so. And he does say that he wishes he could wake up and it wasn't so, but it is. Oh, it is. Anyways, let's hear the rest of it, and then we'll get into it.
Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men north of Richmond. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
All right. So he seems to be blaming it all on the Richmond, north of Richmond. And if you don't get that reference, which I think most people do, but he's talking about Washington, D.C. So he's in a little town near Richmond, Virginia. And north of Richmond, of course, about an hour or so, I'm not sure if I got that right or not. Let me know in the comments. Is Washington, D.C. So, and he's talking about the politicians, of course. And he's blaming all of them for what's going on. And they do have a lot of the blame. But I want to get into a little bit deeper than that, and let's talk about what the solutions are to that. A lot of people are feeling like, yeah, but what can we do about it? There's not much we can do about it short of having a violent revolution, and we certainly don't want that. We want to avoid that. I know people who do want that and think that that's the solution, and it's not. Let me tell you, if you think that, just talk to a combat vet who's been in a war-torn country, and we do not want that here in the United States if we can avoid it. So there's my disclaimer on that one. But there are other solutions, okay? And of course the first one that people think is, well, we need to vote them all out of there. Okay, that could be true, except I think a lot of people don't have faith that the elections are fair anymore. So, and it doesn't matter what side of this you fall on. In the digital age, it's easy, folks. I was a computer tech for about 25 years. Let me tell you, it's easy to hack any kind of digital systems. And so that possibility is there whether you believe it or not. And I happen to fall on the side of that the elections probably aren't fair, at least in most of the important ones. Anyways, so what are the solutions? So what can we do about it? Well, first of all, we can stop playing the blame game. Granted, there's plenty of blame to go onto the politicians and things that are going on in the world, and that's fine. But the solution is to take responsibility for yourself. That's all you can do. You can't change anybody else. You can't change anything. So how do we do that? Well, this channel is geared more towards philosophy, spirituality, changing your life, and so on. And the first thing that you got to do before you can change anything is you have to change yourself. You have to go within, okay? Now the scriptures, if you're a Christian or you know the scriptures at all, the scriptures talk about the kingdom of God being within you, and that would be Luke 17:21 and also John 14:20. And there's several other scriptures for you to look up if you're interested in that. What that means is that the answers are all within you. And so you got to change your life. So if you're selling your soul and wasting your life away and coming home and drinking your troubles away, you got to change that stuff. And this is what Oliver Anthony did, and look what happened. Okay? He's even though his song is the negative side of this, it's waking people up. This is a wake-up call, folks, to start changing your life. And that's where it starts, right there. People want to go out and change the world, but as Jordan Peterson once said, you don't, clean up your room and make your bed first. Especially to the younger folks who want to change the world. They want to go out and do all these great things. So we have to change ourselves and change our lives. There's an old saying, where attention goes, energy flows. Okay? And so think about it for a minute. Why does the news always focus on everything negative? Okay, there are people who understand that principle, where attention goes, energy flows, in the news media and in politics and so on and so forth, and they are trying to keep the people focused on everything that's wrong, keep people divided, and so on. Folks, we're all in this together. We need to start putting aside our differences where we can and working together, but it starts with ourselves. You want to change the world, change yourself. You've probably heard all these cliches that talk about that sort of thing. Well, that's what we need to do. That's where it starts. Well, okay, so how does that change what's going on? Well, where attention goes, energy flows. If we start focusing on positive things in our communities, starting in our communities and on up the ladder, it'll flow uphill. The shit, as they say, will flow uphill, which it normally doesn't. So that's what we have to do. That is where we start, and you have to get started. So again, people want to change the world, they want to go out and do this great thing, but they never get started because it seems so overwhelming. And that's what's going on, my friend.
These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. Want to know what you think, want to know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do.
So yeah, there's nothing wrong with pointing out what's going on. The rich men north of Richmond just want to have total control. They want to know what you're thinking, they want to know what you do, and they think that you don't know, but you do know, okay? But if we dwell on that and all we do is complain about it, how does that change anything? Some people want to spark a revolution. Well, a revolution would be good, but it's not. It has to be a mindful revolution. We have to wake up. People are waking up now to what's going on. And this speaks to a larger spiritual awakening, if you ask me. A lot of people are realizing that there's more than this physical world. Quantum physics or quantum mechanics teaches us that there's more to the physical world than what meets the eye. We tend to look at the physical world as being very concrete. Some people think that where attention goes, energy flows is all woo-woo magical stuff. But quantum physics begs to differ with you on that, okay? We may not fully understand it, but there's a lot more to us. And let me tell you, my friends, you are a lot more powerful than you think. You have a lot more ability to change things than you think. Yeah, stuff has to get done in the physical world, but it starts in the mental world. Everything that you see around you, every building, every car, every invention started with a thought. Somebody had to put their attention on it and start thinking about it, and that's how they came up with ideas. And I happen to think that a lot of those ideas come from the other side. We live in an amazing technological world. If you think about it, we still, despite all the problems, have a lot of things to be thankful for. I mean, look at, you need something, you can just run down to the store and get it, whether it's food or a part, or you need some new clothes, whatever it is that you need, you can just up and go get it because people are producing it all over the world. Yeah, there are some problems, and we have to deal with them, but we have to stop playing the blame game, because that's never a solution. Even if there really is someone to blame, the solution is the same. The solution is to take responsibility and start doing what you can do yourself, for yourself and others. You know, you've heard it before. Be kind to others, start helping out your neighbors, get to know your neighbors to start with, and try to be kind when you can. Yeah, there's times when you want to be angry. You know, the whole Epstein Island thing, yeah, we probably should be angry about that. And people are. But they feel helpless, like, well, what can you do? And none of those people are punished, that kind of thing. What you can do is you can start in your own sphere of influence, your own home, your own community, your own state, your own country, and do what you can. And that's what life is all about. A lot of people feel like they're victims of circumstances being here in this world, that they didn't choose to come here. I beg to differ with that, and you can disagree with me if you want. But we signed up for this, my friends. We signed up because challenges are actually opportunities to grow and progress, both here in the physical world and, I believe, on the other side in the spiritual world. Otherwise, why even bother to come here? We are, I like to call it, we are expressions of God, or source, if you will. Some of the ancient wisdom says that we are thoughts in the mind of God. And again, we might not fully understand that, but it does resonate. It does resonate with some truth, at least for me, and probably for some of you other folks. Anyways, so to me, Oliver Anthony is a wake-up call.
You wish I could just wake up.
At whatever level somebody is at, okay? He's voicing your complaints. Your complaints now are getting voiced worldwide. So now what are you going to do? You got to do something about it, right? So that's what Oliver Anthony did. He did something about it. He dropped a video, and it went viral, and it's bringing people together over it. Okay? That's one of the positive sides of what he's doing. He's bringing people together, and he's helping wake people up. But there's a next step, and that next step is to start working on you. Start going within. Start praying. Start meditating. Start looking at yourself. Some self-introspection, if you will, and go from there. So there are some solutions, my friends. Get involved in your community to start with, you know. Even if it's just a kind word to the elderly person that lives down the street from you, or helping them with their groceries, or fixing a car for them, or mowing their lawn, or whatever it might be. The smallest kindness can really change somebody, and it'll change you too. It gets you out of your head. Helping somebody else out gets you out of your head, especially if you complain a lot about everything, and makes you feel better about yourself. Those are my beginning solutions. I know that there's got to be more to it, but if you put your attention on the solutions and on the kindness and on the positive side of things, then more solutions will come, bigger solutions will come to you, okay? It'll come to you individually, and it'll come to all of us collectively if we start putting more attention on that instead of just complaining. Okay, Oliver has focused the attention a lot on the complaint through his music, you know, and it's a good song, and I like the song, don't get me wrong, but now it's time to focus our attention on the solution and on love and on kindness. And he's trying to do that too. He had his epiphany, and he reads some scriptures that are relevant, I think. Usually at his concerts, he'd try to read some scriptures before he starts playing the music to let people know. And some of them are from the Psalms. I don't remember the numbers, but maybe I'll look them up and post them. But he talks about how the wicked aren't going to win from the Psalms, you know. And the wicked are just the people who are doing wrong. And we've all fallen into that category at times. So again, judgment and blame and all that kind of stuff, if you dwell on it, it doesn't accomplish anything. It's there to wake you up and make you realize that something's got to change. And that something starts with you. I can't emphasize that enough. It starts with you, my friends. We're all in this together. We ought to start treating each other. Well, let's just take it right to the golden rule. Treat others as you would want to be treated. If you start doing that in your sphere of influence, in your neighbors, in your community, that's going to ripple across the country and across the world eventually if we all start doing that. So that's why I wanted to make this video. I've seen a lot of reaction videos for this tune, but I hadn't seen anybody. Well, I saw one offer some solutions somewhat similar to what I'm saying, and I think that's what we need to start focusing on now. Focus on the solutions. Where do you need to change in your life to start with? And then what can you do to help out your neighbors and your community, or your family and friends and so on. All right, my friends, signing off. If you like what you're hearing, please support the channel by clicking the like button, ring that bell if you want to get notified, and have a great rest of your day, evening, wherever you're at.